Fears in Europe continues to escalate. That's as the COVID-19 infections in Italy surge past the 10,000 mark. Italians are adjusting to new draconian measures imposed to curb the spread of the disease.
Well, streets were empty on the first day of the nationwide lockdown after the government prescribed a period of social isolation to fend off the virus. The country recorded more than 500 new COVID-19 cases on Tuesday and 168 deaths, pushing the global number of fatalities outside of China to more than 1,000.
While the government has restricted the movement of Italians in the country, other European nations have now blocked Italians from moving across the continent. With the first reported cases in Cyprus, the virus is now present in every country in the European Union.
And as the Italian economy looks set to grind to a halt, the government has pledged bailouts such as wage subsidies, tax cuts and exemptions from mortgages. Officials are set to discuss the details of the fiscal package later today.
For more, we are joined by our correspondent in Rome, Seema Gupta. So Seema, tell us how Italians are coping with the new social isolation measures.
Well, what we're seeing after an initial confusion as to how these measures are actually going to be implemented, how it's going to be controlled and policed, I have to say that more or less you saw Italians sort of abiding by the measures on the ground. Here in Rome, for example, people on the street keeping their distance from each other. There were queues outside pharmacies and post offices and supermarkets with everyone keeping that 1 meter distance. There were definitely fewer people on the street. I've never seen the city this quiet before in March, for example. And really, the piazzas and the streets absolutely silent. Restaurants and bars sticking to the order to close and shut at 6 p.m. Tables set aside 1 meter from each other. The police have told tourists that they should be going back to their hotels. There were a smattering of tourists, but they were told by the security forces that they should not be around. And really, I think there was an understanding on the ground that really these measures have been put in place for a reason. I did also notice that there were more people wearing masks on the street and being careful about their interaction with others. All that said, though, the region of Lombardy up north, which has been the hardest hit and where the main clusters are, the officials there are saying and suggesting the idea that they want even more stringent measures, which include shutting all shops and stopping all public transport and only allowing for essential services such as access to food and to any pharmacies. The government itself has not excluded such measures, so we'll have to see whether they take that further. At the moment, though, people are just waiting and watching to see what happens, wanting to know what will happen, of course, beyond April 3rd and whether there will be